Welcome to Carrie's Crochet Corner. Today, a viewer had a question about what do you do after finishing a row? Well, I will be showing you how you crochet a row and then turn so that your work is straight. So often as beginners, our work may be uneven. And before I go on, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. All right, so back to this predicament. So often as novices, our samples or our work might be uneven. So here I have sample 1. This sample, I have chained 11, which gives you 10 single crochets, and at the end of each row I've chained 1 and then I turn my work, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. So it looks pretty even and uniform. So that's sample 1. Here's another sample that I did and I did not chain. Looks okay. And then I purposely missed a stitch here because sometimes it's hard to see at the end. So you could see that it's starting to look uneven. So if I went and continued that, it wouldn't be the same size here. And then this sample, let me move that out of the way, is a sample where I did not chain and I purposely missed some stitches. So you could see that sometimes it will start to kind of taper. And also at the end, I may have put my hook through 1 loop and not 2 loops of the previous single crochet. So it starts to look kind of strange. All right, so I want to get started and show you the proper way on how to single crochet evenly make rows. One of the most important things to do in crocheting is to count your rows at the end of each row. All right, so I'm slip stitching here, not slip stitching, slip knot, and I'm going to chain 11. And I also want to count that chain to make sure I have the proper amount of chains so I can begin my project. 11. This is 11. Let me show you a little bit closer here. This is 11. The slip knot is not a stitch, so we're going to ignore that at the end. All right. So when you begin any pattern and you're doing just a regular chain, not a foundation chain, you always skip the first chain. So I'm going to go into the second chain, pull up a loop for my single crochet. Now I have 2 loops on it, yarn over, and I'm going to pull through both loops. I'm going to do the same thing here. Go through that top stitch or chain, pull through, yarn over, go through both. So when you do a single crochet, you don't yarn over first. You yarn over, you grab the yarn. We have 2, yarn over is the last step. I am using US terms today. I believe in the UK they might call it a double. You got 2 loops here, but we call it a single. So I have 1 more stitch here. I'm not going into the slip knot. I'm going into my last stitch. Okay. So I've got 10 single crochets here. Now to turn, you're going to need to chain 1 and you yarn over, right? It's going to be on top of the hook. Pull it through. That's my chain. And I'm going to turn the work, just flip the whole thing over. Now, this stitch right here, that's the chain. I skip over the chain. And I'm going to take my hook and go through this space now that's been created. Now I'm going to grab the yarn. I have 2 loops. Yarn over, go through both. That's my first single crochet on the second row. Okay, so we're going to find those openings. This is the second, that's 2, 3, so I want to get to 10. This is 9. I'm just going to lay this down so you can see it. So I have one more stitch here. And I want to go through both the front and the back. So I'm going to go under both of them, grab the yarn over, go through both. So that's my 10th stitch. Now I'm going to chain 1. Now turn your work. You're ready to begin your next row. So I should have 10. And I can count that, right? I can go back and count. I like to count the top stitches. Let me just take that out for a minute. I can show you. So I go 1. And that's my 10th one. And then I'm ready to go to the next row. So again, I'm going to go through this opening, not that top stitch. Yarn over, or pull the yarn over, go through both. Go through this opening underneath those 2 loops. That's why I like single crochet, because it's easy to, once you finish your foundation row, that first row, it's easy to find where you're going to put the next single crochet. It gets a little tricky at the end. Most patterns will call for you to chain 1 at the end of the row. It's chain 1 for single crochet. There's my chain 1. And it's chain 2 for half double, chain 2 for double. I think it's chain 3 for a triple or treble. All right, so now again, I'm going to skip that stitch, go through this first opening, grab the yarn over, go through both. So I think of turning the work as you're kind of flipping it over like a pancake. And then just count how many you have in each row to make sure it's uniform. If you find you're off one, sometimes what I do is I just undo that row. I try to go back and figure out where the error is. So I'm going to chain 1 here. And I might undo my work. All right, so you can see it's kind of starting to be uniform. You can also visit another video that I have that does a foundation chain that might, if you're doing something you want it to lay flatter, you can start with a foundation chain, which is a little bit trickier, but once you start practicing, it's not too hard. I'm going to do one more row here for the camera. Again, I'm going to skip my chain. I've already turned my work. Crochet is left, right to left? Yeah, right to left, right? Opposite of reading. So when you're a righty, you're going that way. Okay. So if you're making like a scarf, if you're doing a bigger project like a blanket, you want it to be uniform. Washcloth seem to be popular on this channel. Okay, so I'm back to my last stitch, right? I've done my last single crochet. I'm chaining 1. Let's make sure I have 10. 10, right? So if you want to do, let's say you want to do a square with 20, you would chain 21 first. If you want to do a square that was 30, you would chain 31. All right, so that's how you go across the rows, chain 1 at the end, and then remember you flip your work. And you go into those openings for single crochet. Same thing with double crochet. I hope this helps my viewer and viewers. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you already have. I deeply appreciate it, and this has been a lot of fun making these videos.